Hey guys, Aaron here with another fountain pen review. And today I'm reviewing these two pens that you see in front of you. And they are the FPR Himalaya. And before I get into the pens, I want to talk about Fountain Pen Revolution. And it's a website that offers Indian-made fountain pens at a relatively low cost, and it's owned by a gentleman named Kevin. And I think his story is pretty interesting. Kevin, in 2009, he wanted to basically improve his penmanship, so he bought his first fountain pen, and he immediately fell in love with fountain pens. One of the things, though, that discouraged him, which I think sometimes discourages a lot of people, is that he was really upset as far as the pricing of most fountain pens, how they sometimes are just outrageously priced. And so while Kevin was working in India, he actually discovered low-cost, high-quality pens. So he basically found out about Indian fountain pens. And I would tend to agree with Kevin about Indian fountain pens, that you can generally get a really solid fountain pen made with a really attractive material for a lot less than you would pay sometimes for other types of fountain pens. I bought actually several different items from Kevin over the last year or so. And I really enjoy all the items that I've gotten from him. They've got these two fountain pens. I just received another one the other day, actually on Saturday, that I'm going to save for the next review. And the other cool thing about him is he always sends, kind of like Goulet, sort of, but he sends this thing. It says, "Dear Aaron, thanks so much for your repeat business. You are awesome, Kevin." I think that's kind of neat. I enjoy that, as a consumer, as someone that's purchasing from him, the fact that he takes the time to write that handwritten note. It's coming from him personally. I think that's kind of cool. Obviously, he's running a family-owned business, and I think that it's neat, too, that him and his family inspect these fountain pens before they're shipped out. And I think that they really definitely focus on quality control. Now moving on to the actual pens themselves. So as I said before, this is the FPR Himalaya. The orange one that you see here is the saffron orange acrylic. This retails at a $29 price point. Now, it does come in several different nib options. Now, you will have to pay an additional $3 upgrade for a flex nib, as well as I think a 1.1 stub and so forth. Comes with a what they call a 5.5 nib. Both of these pens do have the flex nib upgrade. So I paid about $32 minus any shipping cost and everything else. So still relatively inexpensive for the pen that you're getting. And the fact that it is a flex pen as well, I think that's another thing to call out. So real quick, talk about the acrylic one first. So I'm going to take Mr. Ebonite, put him down there, and we'll talk about this one. So here you see the orange acrylic material, kind of show it off a little bit. You'll notice that there is some chatoyancy to the pen. And I think it's an attractive pen. You've got no anything on the barrel besides just the regular acrylic material. You'll notice that the finial down here is just the acrylic material again. It's got a slight rounded edge to it. And then moving up to the cap, you've got your step up here at the cap, just a slight step up. You'll notice you've got your silver cap band that says FPR on it. You can see actually those cap threads through the cap. Now, moving up to the clip, your clip, it's just a standard silver clip. It does have some springiness to it. It does work well though, fits in a shirt pocket well. I actually fit this pen in a jean pocket and it worked great. Moving up to the top of the pen, you'll notice you've got your clip ring there, and you can tell that this top finial is screws on to hold, so it's 2 pieces and holds this clip in place. Now, taking off the cap for this pen, I think it's 1 and about 3/4, about 1.5 turns, reveals that section. And one thing I really like is that the section is the same material as the rest of the pen. For me, that's a big selling point, because in some Indian fountain pens, especially lower priced ones, you'll see a regular standard black plastic section. So I think that's really cool. The barrel threads are not sharp at all. You can feel them if you're holding the pen up here. However, they do not exhibit any type of discomfort. Now, moving down the section, it does taper down to the end and then flares out at the very end. So if you hold it down here, to me, it's definitely comfortable. You can definitely hold it down there, and it works great. Looking at the nib, you'll notice you got a 2-tone nib here. It says FPR on the left and then flex. You notice you have that really long slit down the middle of the nib, and that allows the nib, the tines, to spread out more, so that way they can flex. And then turning it around, you see your ebonite feed, which works great for flexing this pen. Now, if we take the barrel off, you'll notice that there is no metal there, just the acrylic material, and again, no metal here. So this is a pen that you can eyedropper. You'll notice that you can kind of tell in the video that there is silicone grease on here. That's silicone grease that I actually reapplied. I have never eyedroppered either one of these pens, but you have the option to. Now you've got your converter here. It is a converter that screws in right here. You can purchase additional converters from Kevin on his website. So if for some reason you happen to damage this converter, or you just want an extra one to have, you can purchase those. You'll see the O-ring down here at the bottom. You will have to, if you take this converter off and clean it, you will need to put more silicone grease on the threads. This converter, actually, I know some people don't like these pull converters. I actually don't mind it. If you do happen to prime the feed, which occasionally I do have to prime the feed on this pen. This pen is a little bit more stubborn. But this one, actually, I don't ever have to. But if you do have to prime the feed, just be more self-aware when you're doing it. I've never had ink come spewing out of this pen. The other thing I like about the converter is that it's easy to take off and clean. You unscrew it here, obviously. This back piece here completely unscrews off. And then you push your little plunger rod through that, comes out, clean all this off, re-silicone grease there, and obviously on the threads, and you're good to go. It takes just a couple minutes to clean it out. The nib and feed completely come out of the section. So this pen is actually very easy to clean, very easy to maintain. As another thing that I really enjoy about this pen. There are some pens that I will spend, it feels like an eternity cleaning out. And probably one of my least favorite things to do is to clean up my fountain pens. As much as I love them, I like the fact that these pens are easy to clean out. As far as size, both pens are about 5.33 inches capped, 6.25 inches posted, so much longer posted, and then 4.75 inches unposted. You can post both of these pens, and to me, it doesn't make them back heavy at all. The clip definitely is not heavily weighted. As you can tell, it's a pretty thin material. This band here is not heavy, so the pens are made out of the acrylic and the ebonite are very lightweight. So if you are someone that likes to post your pens, it does make the pen much longer, but to me, it does not make it back heavy. I would say normal size hands, and for me, it fits in the hand perfectly fine, unposted. All right, tossing that one off to the side, we are going to go over the brown ebonite pen real quick. Now, to me, this is more of a matte finish. This is not a high gloss polish you would see on some ebonite, such as some of the Ranga models. But I actually like it. I like the fact that it looks the way that it does. Now, the camera shows it as a little bit deeper, richer brown to me. And I don't know, let's see. That color right there is more close to what you would see in person. Now, obviously, lighting and different things like that are going to change the look of the pen. But just so you guys are aware, it's, I don't want to say duller, but it looks different. Now, I enjoy ebonite pens. I own a few others, and I love the feel, obviously, of the ebonite. It kind of warms in your hand, so to speak. It feels a little bit softer, almost, more pliable, obviously. So I really enjoy the feel of ebonite, and I also like, the patterns in the pen and the swirls and everything else. I think that's kind of neat. Kind of gives you that vintage feel, so to speak. As far as the body and everything, the pen is literally identical to the acrylic, just a different type of material. The the clip is exactly the same. Cap has the same step up. They're literally almost the same exact size. Now, as far as taking off the cap, however, it goes off about 2 full turns. So it does take a little bit longer. There's a lot more barrel threads, as you can tell. Another cool selling point with this pen is it has the same material for the section. Again, for me, that is a big deal. I would much rather have this. To me, it adds to the value of the pen and makes me enjoy the pen a lot more. It has the same exact filling system. I will take the barrel off real quick just to show you guys. So this is a pen that you can't eyedropper. However, it does come with this push-pull converter, and it works perfectly fine. Now, this pen does come with the FPR Flex, but it is not a two-tone. It is just a single silver steel nib. Has the long slit down the middle, as you can tell. Has the same ebonite feed. Now, between the two pens, which one do I like more? Man, it's hard. It's a hard decision, but I'm going to go with the acrylic one. And number one, I really like acrylic fountain pens. As much as I like ebonite, I love acrylic fountain pens. Number two, this pen is a little bit more stubborn. I find myself having to work more. This pen has a lot of hard starts, especially if I haven't written with it for a day or two. This one here literally starts up almost every single time. This one, not as much. Now, when this one gets writing, though, man, does it lay down some ink. And it is a very enjoyable pen once you get it going. But you may have to sit there and fuss with it a little bit to get it to start writing. Now, that could just be the pen that I got. And for me, it's not that big of an issue. And it certainly did not make me not buy another fountain pen from FPR. Because again, I'm willing to tinker with a pen a little bit to make it right. And for me, it's not an issue. For you, it might be. All I have to do typically with this is just prime the feed a little bit by pushing in that converter rod and then pulling it right back out. And generally it writes almost immediately. I may tap the nib on the paper a couple times to just show that it's got some ink flow, and then I'll start writing. So this is one thing. Now, once I get this thing writing, I could write 10 pages and it not give me one problem. It just has hard starts. So that's one thing I think I just got a pen that just is a little bit fussy, in my opinion. Now, comparing these two pens to a Noodler's fountain pen. This is a Conrad. This is my third one I've owned. I've given away the other two. I still have this one. I would take both of these pens over this one. First off, I'm not a big fan of the smell. I know some people get over it, and I'm fine. For instance, Kevin gives away these fountain pens right here. It smells the same as the Noodler's, but these actually write better than the Noodler's half the time. So I would definitely pick these two over the Noodler's. I just have not had as much luck with the Noodler's fountain pens. These just perform a lot better, and for the price that you're going to pay for them, you can get it with a flex nib. I'll take these two. And I failed to mention this. Kevin will send you, this is like my third one of these pens. I think it's a muff pen. I can't remember for certain. Comes with a little iridium point nib, like a fine nib. It does have an ebonite feed, just a simple eyedropper. These are cool to like test out inks. I really like this pen. I have not had any issues with them. I've used all three. They're easy to clean out. They do smell bad. But who cares? This is a pen I got for free, and it writes better than my Noodler's fountain pen that I paid $25 for, I think, maybe 30. I don't remember. So setting that off to the side, I'll bring Noodler's back to give you guys a sizing comparison, and I will also bring in the Ranga acrylic fountain pen to give you guys an idea. Obviously, this one is more expensive. I've done a review on this one already. You've got $50 here. I think most of the Conrads actually retail for around $20, and then $32 here. That kind of gives you an idea as far as sizing, though. Really, that's it, guys. So this originally, I was going to do a 3-part review. I was going to review each one of these pens separately, but then I was like, why would I do that? They're basically the same pen, just a different material. So I reviewed these two together. Now I have a special pen coming up next that I purchased and came Saturday that I've been writing with, and it writes very well. And I will review that pen on Friday, and then I will compare that pen to these two pens. And I will reveal that pen on Friday to you guys. So real quick, I'm going to go over what I like about the fountain pens and what I dislike about the fountain pens, and then we'll do a writing sample. So what do I like about the fountain pens? Well, I really enjoy the materials. I enjoy the fact that I'm paying $30, $32, and I'm getting a flex nib. It makes my writing expressive. The nibs perform. You got an ebonite feed. While this one can be a little bit stubborn at times, once I get it going, it works great. This one here is awesome. And the other pen that I just got Saturday works amazing as well. So again, I think I just got a stubborn one there. So I love the materials. I love the nibs. Pen's great. I actually don't mind the converter at all. What do I not like? It's not so much not liking it, but it is a little bit of a critique, and is the clip. The clip is to me, very flimsy. I feel like if I pulled this thing hard enough, I would just break it off. And in fact, when I put this in my jean pocket, I said that earlier, I noticed after a day or two, this clip is kind of bent to the left, and it wasn't like that when I got it. So that's maybe the only thing that I would critique. You know, Kevin, if you're watching this, maybe sometimes some different clips. I haven't bought like your Trevini models or anything, so I don't know. I'm sure the clips probably are better on those models. It's not a deal breaker for me. I don't mind the clips at all. It's just, if I was to critique one thing about the pens, it would be that. This one obviously is a little bit stubborn, but you know, it actually performed better with a diamine ink in it than it did a Waterman, which I was surprised. I usually never have any issues with Waterman ink in my pens, but you know, again, it is what it is. To me, that's not a deal breaker, though. I still enjoy the pens very much. All right, guys. So up next, we're going to do a writing sample for you guys, and then we'll be done. So I'll be back in a moment. All right, guys. I am back. And let's get this where I want it centered exactly. All right, so we're going to write with this one real quick. And this is the Saffron Orange Acrylic Fountain Pen. And this is a FPR Himalaya. And obviously this is the flex nib. And the ink that I am using is a Roshizuku Fuyugaki. Hopefully I pronounced that properly. If I did not, I apologize. This again is a Pilot ink. I really like Pilot inks. And this, to me, this ink suits this color pen very well. So I really like that ink. Now the Quick Brown Fox. All right, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog because the dog was too lazy to get up. Okay, now what you guys have probably actually been waiting for, I was actually playing around with these pens on the other side of the page, as you can probably tell, is some of the line variation. So there is no pressure whatsoever. There's a little bit of pressure, and then we just keep it going. It's probably about as far as I'm going to push it, maybe just a little bit more. So you can see, I mean, you've got that there that's like, you know, definitely a fine line up to, I don't know, we'd call that a broad, double broad maybe. So definitely you can get some really good line variation out of this pen, and by no means is it a vintage flex, but the pen definitely performs. It lays down a consistent ink. And again, the other thing I like about it is while I've got this flex nib in here, this is a pen that you can use to write a long letter or to take notes or to, you know, do homework with and add some expression to your writing, which to me makes it more enjoyable, especially if I have to sit down and write a really long letter to a family member. And it works well, but at the same time you can use it to do this right here. Now, as far as wetness, I mean, the thing definitely lays down some ink. There, you see it, it's pretty good and wet. You'll see I smudged some right there. So again, this pen, they both do this. I'm gonna get out the other one and just do like a quick writing sample. That was me as far as the railroad, but they both work. I enjoy writing with this one especially. Let's see how Mr. Brown Ebonite works. I have not written with him before this, so we'll see if he's, oh, hey, what do you know? And you can see this thing just spits out ink. I mean, when it gets going, this thing is actually, I enjoy writing with this pen when it's going. It just occasionally I get those hard starts, and for whatever reason, it just does not want to perform. So this is Waterman Absolute Brown. It would help if I could see. That is horrible writing. All right, Waterman Absolute Brown. I enjoy this ink, by the way. It is a nice brown ink. That's all I'm going to do with this one. I'll do a little bit of, it does the same thing. I mean, the nib's the same. It performs well. And there you have it. These two pens are awesome. If you've been on the fence about getting an FPR pen, I highly, highly recommend going and getting one. I enjoy all my purchases from FPR, so definitely go get one. Okay, guys, on Friday, I will be presenting another review to you guys. It will be kind of an add-on to this one, and it's a little bit of a surprise, and I hope that you guys really enjoy this one, but I hope you guys enjoy the next one even more. You guys have a wonderful rest of your evening/week, whatever time of day it is that you're watching this, and I shall see you guys next time. Please subscribe to my channel, comment down below, and I'll see you guys later.